Hello loves, you're welcome back to another beautiful video. In today's video I'll be showing you how to cover your circle cakes, and in particular I'm going to be using an embosser, so I'll also be showing you how to use your embosser on your cakes. Here I've already crumb coated my cake, so I rolled out a fondant. I forgot to video that part. I rolled out a round fondant and placed it on my cake, then turned it upside down. Well, before you turn it, make sure you dust your cake board with some corn flour or icing sugar so that it doesn't stick to your board when you want to turn it back. All right, so I just went ahead to cut out the excess, and here I'm rolling out the bigger fondant. Before you do that, I've always said in my previous videos, measure your cakes, the height of your cake and the width of your cake. So you measure how long the cake is and how wide the cake is by going round it with your measuring tape. All right, so here I've already rolled out my fondant. Make sure your fondant is not too light and at the same time not so thick, but it's better thick than light. If it's overly light, it's going to break. I'm just cutting out the excess parts on my fondant. These parts are not needed, so I'm just cutting it out so that it will give us a very clean shape of it, so that when I cover my cake it's going to be symmetrical. So here I'm just measuring my fondant to actually get the right measurement. I've shown in my channel several videos on how to crumb coat your cake perfectly. A perfect crumb coat will give you a perfect cake covering when you cover it, so that it doesn't show those separations, especially if you're someone that works with different layers of cakes. All right, so I'm going to be using my embosser. This is like a rock embosser, so you just turn your fondant and just lightly press your embosser onto your cake so that it can imprint those beautiful prints on your fondant. You can use any embosser of your choice. If you're not using embosser too, this particular video will help you to cover your cakes perfectly. So I went over with some water just so to help my fondant stick when I place it on it. My cake is still very soft and wet, so I don't need to go over my cake with water, but if not, I would have still sprinkled some water on it. So just watch how I'm covering this cake, this particular cake. You put your fondant straight on your cake. If it's not straight, you might have a bent cut when you're about to make the two ends lap. So this particular pattern, you have to make sure that it's straight, and after that you press it against the cake and cut off the excess. I believe you saw how I was able to cut it off. I don't know how to explain this thing very well. But you just make sure okay, so this is also another method where you bring your two smoothers together to cut off the excess. After that, just go over with your smoother, press your fondant against the cake, trying to pull out any excess. Just go over it, up down, so that you remove any of the excess. Let the excess stick to your board because we are going to cut it off. Just like you can see I'm doing here, I'm cutting off those parts that were pressed down. All right, not so much so that you don't spoil the design on your embosser has done, but you still go gently up and down, then go over your cake with your smoother to make sure it laps very well, because if it does not lap very well, it can fall off, which is not what we want. All right, so yes, I'm cutting off the excess at the top of my cake also. If this is your first time of coming across my channel, my name is Clementina. I am a baker. Please do well to like this video, subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and drop a comment. If you have any question, drop a comment and let me know where you're watching me from so that I can give a shout out to you on my next video. So here I'm done, and I'm just turning it over. See what I told you here. If you don't put in enough corn flour on your cake board, at this point where you're lifting it up is going to stick, which is not what we want. So finally, I'm just going over with a smoother just to give my sharp edge, those, that sharp detail. I love sharp edges so much, especially on my fondant cakes. Like this video, subscribe to my channel for more content, and you see the final result of our cake. The designs are showing well, and this is the final result. See you in my next video. Bye.